Hi guys, this is Bart with Paria Outdoor Products, and today I want to go over our Bryce two-person backpacking tent. So this is a lightweight tent for two people. It's perfect for backpacking, throwing in your pack. It's nice and comfortable. It's a rectangular body, so a lot of tents taper towards the back, but ours is a fully rectangular shape, so you should be able to fit two sleeping pads and two people in there comfortably. And we include pretty much everything you need. The tent itself, the footprint, which is something that you place underneath the tent just for some extra protection, and then as well as all of the stakes and guide out points and everything so that you can get out on the trail right away. So I'd like to go ahead and show you guys how to set up the tent, point out some of the specific things you want to keep an eye out for when you're out on the trail to get the most out of it, and then as well as talk a little bit about how to take care of it once you do get home. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is just lay all your pieces out, take them out of the stuff sack and lay everything out on the ground. So what we've got here, the first thing is the footprint. So this goes underneath the tent just to provide some extra protection for the floor. A lot of times when you're camping at a fairly nice level campsite, then you probably don't need this, but if you're camping at a rocky location where you're worried about damaging the bottom of the tent, then this is just some extra protection that you can use. It's also good for a little bit extra waterproofing because it adds an extra layer and it is waterproof, so water should run underneath there and stay away from your tent. One thing you want to note is that the footprint does have kind of a rough side and a shiny side, and the shiny side is the side that is coated with the waterproofing, so you want to keep that on the top. So put the rough side down on the ground, shiny side on the top, so that your waterproofing coating doesn't get worn down from rubbing onto the ground. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and lay out the footprint first, just like that. And then next we have the actual tent body. So this is the mesh body and the bottom of the tent. So this will lay out on top of the footprint. Then the very next thing is the tent poles. This is the aluminum pole structure to the tent. So we'll take them out. And the way that the body, the structure is basically two Y shapes. One is a little bit larger than the other. The larger one goes to the front, and the smaller Y goes to the back. The other way you can know which is the front, which is the back, is that the back has the silver coloring, whereas the front, everything else is red. So the silver tips go on the back of the tent, and everything, and the other Y goes to the front. So we'll go ahead and lay this out on top. And get it all put together. So there's the front Y, then there's the ridge line, and then there's the back of it. So kind of lay it out on top, and then the footprint and the body both have these grommets in the corners, so these round metal openings. So you want to get the tip of the tent pole into both of those. So if you're only using the tent body, then obviously just through that one. But today we're using both the footprint and the body. So we're going to go ahead and stick it through both of those. So now we have the structure up, and the next step is to get these little clips up onto the aluminum poles. So kind of work your way around getting those up. So that's the tent body set up with the aluminum pole structure and the footprint. So next we're going to want to stake this out, and you provide a bunch of stakes. There's, I believe, 12 of them. So grab a few and go ahead and stake out the 4 corners. Now you want to, there's a loop for each, for the body and the footprint, so if you're using both, go ahead and make sure that the stake goes through both of those loops on the end. All right, we'll get that in there. Now when you're staking things out, you want to make sure that you pull out as far as you can. So by pulling the stakes apart as far as possible, you're going to maximize the size of the body of the tent and the interior space. So you want to make sure you pull nice and tight at each corner. All right, one more. So we've got the tent staked out, and now the next step is to get the rain fly on. So go ahead and grab that. So again, the rain fly has a door, so you want to kind of line that up with the front and just pull it up and over the back, just like that. Now each corner has a clip that you can use to clip into the tent body or the footprint. Both have the clip, the quick release clips. So if you're only using the footprint, which is an option, if you're in an area where you're not concerned about bugs or anything like that, and you want to minimize weight, you can set up just the footprint, the structure, and then the fly, and that gets you kind of a fast and quick setup. So we'll work our way around, get the clips in. Now once you have the clips in, you kind of want to line up the aluminum poles with these seams over here, just so that everything is kind of lined up with the fly and the body. So it looks pretty good. If you need to make adjustments, these clips have these straps that you can release and cinch down. So if you need to shift things over a little bit, you can go ahead and tighten one or release it. But this one looks pretty good. All right, so now everything is on, and we'll go ahead and stake out the rain fly. So grab some more stakes. And we'll start with the door. So make sure you pull nice and tight when you're staking things out. So there's, on each side there are 2 attachment points. There's one at the very bottom and then one in the middle. And so you want to at the very least do the bottom one, because that's going to pull the rain fly away from the tent body, maximize ventilation and interior space. So you want to attach a piece of guy line, the very shortest ones that we include, to the bottoms, and then go ahead and stake that out. And then the one in the middle is, kind of optional. Again, by doing it, you're going to pull the fly away from the body and get more space and more airflow inside. So we'll go ahead and set that one up. So that's this side. And once you have them, you can use these adjusters here to tighten the things up. Really nice. Okay, and then there are also attachments in the back. So there's one on the very bottom, just like the sides, and then there's one kind of by the vent. So there's a vent in the back here that we provide with a kind of a kickstand. And so you can use that, the attachment point on the vent. So that's the basic setup of the tent. Again, you want to lay the footprint out, the body, get the structure in, stake everything out, and then throw the fly on, and then pull out the lines, on the sides at the very least, and the one on the back and the bottom. And then some of these other ones, again, these are just to kind of reinforce the structure. So if you're expecting a lot of wind or maybe snow, you can use these, and we provide guidelines for every single attachment that's there to just provide some extra support. But I think under most conditions, kind of this amount of guidelines is probably going to work for you. So just a couple of things about the tent. We got the two-way zipper on the front door, so you can zip that all the way around. And then we do provide this little loop over here that you can kind of use to secure the door. So you can just kind of keep it like that for the most part. And then you've got the zipper on the door. Again, it's two-way, so zip from the top and bottom. So one of the things that we included for the rainfly is, again, a two-way zipper so that you can kind of open it up from the top. So if you're at a site where it's pretty dry, not expecting any rain, you can kind of unzip this very top part here. And then with the vent that we have at the back, you can get some good cross ventilation here and minimize condensation inside the tent. So that's kind of a nice feature. One other question that we get quite a bit is we included these two little metal tubes along with the tent, and so the question is, what are these for? And these are repair splints for the tent poles. So you've got your aluminum structure, and just for some reason, if something was to happen out on the trail and one of them was damaged, you can slide the sleeve over top of the pole to kind of provide a splint, and then maybe use some duct tape to secure it in place, and that should allow you to continue to use the tent pole until you get home. And then feel free to contact us, and we'll get you squared away with a replacement. But that's what these are for. So go ahead and at least bring one along when you're out on the trail. So those are the general assembly instructions for our Bryce two-person tent. It's pretty straightforward. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us, and we'll be happy to get you squared away. A couple other things I want to talk about is just the care of the tent. It's pretty simple. When you get home from the trail, it's a great idea to lay it out outside or hang it up somewhere inside so that it can dry. You don't want to store it if it's wet at all, because that'll create some mold issues and break down the waterproofing of the tent. So you always want to kind of let it air out and dry out before you store it away. And then for cleaning, you just want to use a little bit of water and some sponge and just kind of spot clean. It's not a good idea to put it in the washing machine, and definitely not in the dryer, because that'll agitate the surface and can damage the waterproofing of the tent. So if you want to maximize the lifetime of your tent, it's best to just spot clean, brush it out, shake it out. I like to pick it up by the frame, open up the door, and just shake everything out of the inside. Wipe up the bottom if it's really dirty. And, I think with good care, it should last you for many years. So again, that's our Bryce two-person backpacking tent. Again, if you have any questions about it or any of our products, feel free to email us, and we usually respond right away. And thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful.